Let me go to Steve in Oklahoma. Hey, Steve.
Hey, thank you very much for taking my call. I
Sure.
have a mortgage question. If you can,
Okay.
if there is advice, if there is something smart I can do, but I had one side of my mortgage company trying to help me refinance with all kinds of promises, and we literally worked on it for 2 years.
Hmm.
Restructure this, restructure that. And Dan, what I want to say is I did every single thing that this, I don't know if I can say the company on the air or not. I probably won't, but I did what they told me to do. I did what they told me to do, and I did what they told me to do. And I was promised that every single time we did one of these payment programs that they would take the money and roll it onto the back of the mortgage company, and all of a sudden, boom, we want all of our money, and we want it right now. And I had one side of this company working to refinance my house. I had the other side of the company taking my house away, and and same company. They wouldn't even communicate with each other anyway. I have a foreclosure that a lot of people and everybody who looks at the situation says, this wasn't right. This shouldn't have happened. They even admitted it was wrong. I've got a deal in writing that, we made some mistakes or whatever, and they even gave me a check for phone call hassles. But I lost my house. All my life I have a credit score of the high 700s. I don't owe anybody anything anywhere, but I've got this foreclosure hanging on my head, and, man, it hurts. Is there anything I can do to get a foreclosure removed?
So you're out of the house now, Steve.
Yeah, I lost the house.
Well, that is an unbelievable story. Let me just say this, because I think it's important for other listeners to understand this. If you're in a situation like Steve, if you ever get in that situation, where you're making all your payments, you've got a good credit score. Yes, it's a struggle and you need to do certain things, and you know that, but you're managing to make your payments. Don't talk to your current mortgage company. There's zippo, no incentive for them to help you. I don't care what they say. Remember, there's no incentive. It's a disincentive. There's a disincentive for them to help you. They're not going to work with you. So I would just tell you right from the beginning, ask one question. Are you willing to refinance? Yes, refinance it. What's the rate? If it's that kind of question, not a foreclosure situation where you're trying to refinance, ask them. Say, hey, I'm going here. I can get a better rate. You want to do it. You need to tell me. And if they say yes, okay, well, they'll refinance it. Let them refinance it. But if they're going to help you, forget. They're never going to help you do that. They're never going to do it. So what you need to do with that is just forget about them. Don't even talk to them. Just go to another mortgage company altogether and try to have some sort of workout with another mortgage company. And that may be the best solution. The only way, Steve, that you can get this off your credit is that you've got to file a formal complaint with the credit agencies that are carrying it. So all of the three major credit agencies that are covering this foreclosure, you've got to file a formal complaint that this was an injustice and here's why. Now, what they don't do anything about it. They can't take it off. But they go to the mortgage company, and they're going to say, you need to reply to this. The mortgage company, I don't remember the timing on this, Steve. It's either 60, it could even be 30 days, 30 or 60 days, that they have time to respond back in writing to the credit agency. If the credit agency gets nothing from them in writing, then legally they've got to take it off your credit report if they get nothing in writing. If they do, then it stays on there. Now, I know people that have done this every 3 months on the same exact issue for a long time till finally, that gets caught up in bureaucracy and the company that they're complaining about never responds and they get it dropped off their credit. But the other thing you can do is through an attorney, file a formal complaint to the mortgage company. That would be the route that I would take. The problem with that is it takes money and it's not recoverable money unless unless your attorney says, wait a minute, this injustice like what's going on with Bank of America right now. They're settling, tens of millions of dollars. They're settling because of the injustices they've done in their mortgages. Unless your lawyer says, wait a minute, this isn't right. They misrepresented this thing. They're going to have to pay damages. And in which case, you can cover your legal fees and maybe get a little money back. So it's not going to cost you anything, Steve, to talk with an attorney, to lay out the scenario with them and show them everything you have in writing and see what he says. And if your attorney says, look, I'll do it for nothing, I'll do it for, the 33% of whatever we recover, which is what you're hoping will happen if they think there's something that they can get for it. So I would at least do that. It's not going to cost you anything for that initial consult and go that way.
You see these little companies, on the internet or whatever, but they say we specialize in things like this. You don't know who they are, but
right.
for $200 they'll get started for me, and then it's $60 a month after that.
Right.
And they pretty much promise they can get this all cleaned up. But Dan, I don't know who I'm talking to. I don't know who they are. I'm sending money to somebody that claims they're good at this.
Well, anytime, Steve, you got to give money up front for something that is going to generate money for them if they really do what they say, forget it. It's not a good deal. I say that to everybody. Listen, if you're going to get your credit card straightened out, and you go to a credit company that is going to pay your bills for it, and you've got to give them money up front, forget about it. Don't even talk to them. Because they're going to be making money every month. They don't need it. Make sure the settlement happens and everything gets done first. So, that's always a red flag. That's always a red flag. And I would also make sure that you contact the Oklahoma State Attorney General's office, and you have a county office in your county for the state attorney generals, and report the company. You got to report them and tell them what has happened, because there are other people that are going to check that website to see if this company has been reported on anything, and let them know what happened, and maybe they can even step in and help you. But unfortunately, there's no way you're going to get that off your credit report without a legal process. And it sounds to me, based on what you've said, that it's not going to be much of an issue. And what I mean by that is I think you're going to get it off your credit report. And I think a good attorney, if you can find a good attorney that does these things, I think they'll be more than willing to do it for you for, their 30 or 40%, whatever they take, to get it off your credit report. And that would be the route I would take. And man, that is. Go ahead.
I don't see making anything. anything.
No. And you shouldn't worry about that. That's irrelevant at this point. You shouldn't even worry about making anything. But maybe you will. Who knows? But I wouldn't count on it. But all I would try to count on is, hey, if I can do this without it costing me anything, and I can do this and get this off my credit report and maybe recover the expenses I paid, then that would be a great thing.
But I've tried the state and the county deal or whatever, the city, and their only answer to me is, if you were going through foreclosure, we could help you. But now that it's already happened,
right,
there's nothing we can do.
No, well, that is true. There's not much they can do now that it's happened. But that doesn't hold water for a legal process. It doesn't matter from a legal aspect. So a lawyer, you can still make this thing right and get after them, even though it's already foreclosed. So if your lawyer thinks there was an injustice, they'll make it. They'll happen. And these mortgage companies are on the hot seat to begin with. So I don't think it would take much. So I would pursue it. I would pursue it.